1, 2, 3.
Full R&B ballin' for all y'all to see. Full R&B ballin' for all y'all to see.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Go With The Flow. This is an episode that I'm very excited for. Today we are recording on, what's today, February 11th? It's February 11th, and in 3 days is Valentine's Day. And so earlier in the week, I had the idea that it would be cool, since this episode comes out on a Monday, to do a Valentine's Day episode, get a couple on here, talk about love, Valentine's Day, all that fun stuff. Pushed another episode back that I already recorded to the next week just because I was so excited about doing this. And so, without further ado, I have my friends Joe and Flo in the building. We always talk about the battle for the name of Flo, but it's okay. We'll let that go, and we'll both be going with the Flo.
Yeah, how are we gonna differentiate the flows then?
That's a good point. I think we'll
Maybe I actually call you by your name.
Yeah, call me Flo in this episode.
I must be the first guest Flo though.
Oh, for sure. I don't know any other Flos. It's just me and you.
I think you should do a whole series of just interviewing people who Flo.
Honestly,
That'd be a great series.
It might be hard to find people to do that, but yes, I could try that. But okay,
a short one.
The way that I always start these episodes is I ask my guests to introduce themselves, tell me where they're from, stuff they do on campus, and then just any other general intro that they would want the people to know. And because we are gentlemen, ladies first. Flo, please take it away.
Hello, I'm Flo, and I'm from London. And basically, all I do on campus is row, and that takes up all of my time. So that's really interesting. But yeah, that's basically me.
Messed up her sleep schedule a couple weekends ago, but we will not get into that. We will not get into that stuff. No, definitely not. Keep that story off the podcast. Keep it off the podcast. Joe, your turn.
Right, I'm essentially the same thing, but on the men's rowing team. What else do I do? Procrastinate from thesis.
Joe, could you let the people know how much progress you've made on your thesis?
I'm closer to determining the topic, and the draft is due next week. So let's go.
Yeah, and as you'll see, for anyone listening, every senior, we kind of have our own different timelines on our thesis. Mine is also not nearly as far along as it should be, but at the end of the day, they all get done, and I think that's all. It'll get done. It'll get done.
Like no topic though. I feel like that's a new level, Joe.
Nah. We're good.
I'm gonna be rooting you on the whole time. Did you both say what your majors were?
Econ.
History.
Econ with a side of finance, yeah.
A side of finance.
Yeah. Econ with econ.
Nice. Okay. So, you two as a couple, let's get into it. When did you first meet? Because from what I know, you guys have been dating since pre-Princeton, so this is something that I really want to get into. So could you just tell me about the first time that you met? Actually, yeah, we'll start there. How did y'all meet?
Who wants to do this? I think you should do it because I feel like your memory's so bad. I'm genuinely interested if you can remember when we first met.
So we met at a GB rowing trial in Boston, Lincolnshire. And if you've ever been to Boston, Lincolnshire,
I've not been to Boston.
It's not like Boston, Massachusetts. I tell you, it's a pretty bleak place.
It's like actually the worst place in England. Like genuinely, I think it's got the highest everything bad rate. Like it's like the highest crime rates, the highest teen pregnancy rates, everything.
I'm pretty sure it had the highest like Brexit vote rate as well.
It's just bad. It's bad.
Shout out Boston, Lincolnshire. I hope none of y'all are listening to us shit on your part of the world. Okay.
But yeah, no, we were both because we were like doing this program where you're kind of like your trials fees get sponsored by GB Rowing. So we were both posted up in the same hotel, sat down at the same dinner table, just got talking. Both realised we were applying to Princeton, and then
no, that's not true. I'd applied to Princeton. You'd missed the application deadline.
You missed the application deadline.
I decided on the top. Much like my thesis, I was in the process of deciding, but no.
Yeah, and I'd already applied, and then he was like, "Oh, I want to go to Princeton too." Or I think he said, "I'm going to Princeton too," and I was like, "Oh, you've applied?" And you were like, "No," and I was like, "Okay." And this is where the trouble in our relationship also began, from this problem of Joe not.
No, flavor.
Yeah, but of you not applying, that caused a lot of issues.
I mean, yeah, but it all turned out well.
Wait, first question: what year was this, by the way? How long ago?
This was 2016.
Wow.
November
okay.
2016.
November 2016. So
Yeah.
this is when you've met. You sat down at this dinner table. You both talked about applying to Princeton.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this? Can you clarify the story? So you had actually gotten in, Flo, and
Yeah.
Joe, you had not applied yet.
I
Well,
think like I'd
Flo
been
was
told.
applying. You're applying early, weren't you?
Yeah, like because when you're recruited, you're kind of just like. At that point, you know that
Yeah.
you're going. I mean, I didn't even know that. I was so clueless about the whole recruiting process. But so I was like, yeah, going. And then Joe also wanted to go. But
I
just,
visited and I'd been on my
Yeah.
official, and I was like pretty certain it was Princeton where I wanted to go. But yeah, I didn't get my shit together. I hadn't put the application in yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then, yeah. And then I feel like didn't you fall in love with me when I gave you my chips?
You gave me like your side, yeah, and
And he was so happy.
I was.
Is this
there you
all
go.
at that same dinner?
Key to my heart?
This was all at the same dinner.
All
yeah.
at the same. Oh, okay. Wait. So when you first met each other, was there any sort of immediate romantic interest?
Definitely, there was some curiosity. I was definitely like, "Ooh, who is
I
this
don't
guy?"
think like
I wasn't like,
I don't
"Oh,
think-
fuck."
yeah.
I wasn't like losing my shit, but
really.
I mean,
rude.
I was. But
I mean, I don't think there was like I remember what like look at you come in and I was like, he's kind of hot. But then I like wasn't. I feel like also at that period I was so like not looking for a relationship. Like I was very like knew what I was doing next year. Like I was wanting to come to Princeton. I was going to America. Like there was I wasn't looking for a relationship in the UK. So then I wasn't really thinking about that when I saw you. But then I was also like very intrigued by you because you're like a bizarre human being.
He is a very great but bizarre human being.
distinct.
And I feel like that's how it usually happens when you're not looking for a relationship. That is
It's
when
true.
you do end up getting into one. Both my relationships were way back, both in high school, but when they both happened, I was not in a million years thinking that I would be getting into a relationship. So it's funny how that usually works. Because there's a lot of people who are always like, I want to get a girlfriend, I want to get a boyfriend, and then it never happens because you can't force that type of thing to happen, and if you force it, it's just not going to last. So yeah, it's usually when you're not looking for a relationship that it ends up happening. But okay, back to y'all. So this initial dinner, what are the conversations like after that? When do you go on your first date? How do you eventually lead into a full-fledged relationship?
Yeah. So I think after basically we were at this dinner with people from Joe's team, so they knew him pretty well, and they'd like just come back from this like trip in. Weren't you in America? You were
Yeah,
in,
we
like,
came to
Boston,
America.
weren't
We
you?
raced the Charles up in Boston.
Yeah.
The proper Boston, and yeah, and then
And then they'd just come back from this trip, and I think Joe'd been a little bit of a fuckboy around this period of time.
I
Which
was,
there's nothing wrong with.
I was exploring
yeah.
my adolescence.
Yeah.
I like
Exactly.
that.
But then the two girls that were like on his team, we all like went back to the rooms together. Like we kind of split. The girls went one way, the boys went one way, and the girls were like, "Oh, he like definitely likes you," and I was like, like I hadn't got those vibes really like when we were talking. And then I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, but he is like a massive fuckboy. And I was like, okay.
And
Like,
this is all after that first dinner.
yeah, this is all on the first
Yeah.
day.
So how did they know? How did the friends know that you liked her? Were you just telling
I
everyone?
don't know, maybe just my body language and plus.
You're just like
I don't know.
Just couldn't help yourself.
Yeah.
you're just blushing the
I
whole
don't know.
time.
Fuck knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so who eventually shot their shot first
So-
and reached out and said, oh, like, what are we doing here?
I guess. Well, we like the next day we raced and like we were both like, oh.
No, you asked Ben for my number that night.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
'cause
yes,
my
Joe.
teammate went to like this like event with Flo like the summer before, so he knew you kind of.
Yeah.
And I got the digits, slid into the DMs.
Yeah.
And then we arranged
We
to.
were talking that night though. I remember you slid in that night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Slytherin, bro. Slytherin.
Okay, I like that.
Slytherin.
But yeah, no, and then we arranged. Well, I don't know who was kind of leading it, but we arranged to have a date in London the week after, and like I came because I live like just outside of London, so like for me it's like a big trek to come in. But
Yeah.
I thought it was worth it.
Okay, so you got the number, you slid into her DMs, but Flo, you said you were also intrigued by him, and so this brings me to one of my first general questions. Do we believe, because I believe that there is this expectation in society that it's always the guy's job to shoot their shot first if they might be romantically interested in someone. What are your thoughts on that? Do you believe that it's always the guy who has to make the first move?
No, I definitely don't think so at all. I think the only reason why in our circumstance that happened is because I was very like not looking for something at that point. I think I definitely would have like I definitely have shot my shot before, you know, I've definitely slid in before first, but I think like, I don't know, I don't get why that would be an expectation at all, you know?
I don't get it either, because
Patriarchy.
the patriarch. But no, I am someone who has shot my shot in the past, do it quite often. But at the same time, I'm always like, it would be nice if I had the girl slide into my DM first. And it's not like, so even if so it's a girl, I shoot my shot, they say they're interested, they're like, oh yeah, I liked you, thought you were cute. And I'm like, okay, so why couldn't you also make the same move first? Once in a while, I would also like to be approached first. Is that too much to ask for?
Yeah, I mean, I have female friends that shoot their shot a lot and like they're good, you know, and it's like I feel like it's always well received as well. So it's like,
who are these
why
friends? Do
wouldn't
they
you?
go here? Could you slide me in?
Yeah, they definitely do go here. I feel like you know some of them well.
Not on the shooting team.
Yeah.
No, but,
Joe, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I wasn't really looking for a relationship anyway. So like to say I was shooting my shot, it was more kind of just curious and like wanted to explore. But in general, I think it depends on the person. Like some people will want to be like kind of led. I don't know. I think it just completely depends on the person. But I definitely, it shouldn't be like a set rule.
No.
Fair enough. I concur. And so this first date that you guys planned in London, could you tell me about that? What was the setting? What was it like? Did you guys strike it off immediately? Just tell the people about that first date.
I think we did strike it off like immediately. We were like, we met in central London and we got very fucked up very quickly, and then we were just like we were just like the most baffed little youths, weren't we? We were just like walking around like confused children.
Trying to find
like,
we were like, it was Friday in central London, we were walking around Oxford Street like, oh, why is there no space at any of these restaurants?
All the restaurants were full.
Yeah.
We hadn't like booked anything. And then we went back to my like where I live in London, which is like North London, so it's like good to get a tube there. And then we went to a restaurant near where I live. Then we went back to mine. Then my mum walked in on us having sex. It was good
Okay. So it sounds like
on the first date.
Yeah.
No, I love that. You guys just are moving very quickly
Yeah.
through things. And so you had this first date. How long until you became an official relationship? And did you need Joe to ask you to be your girlfriend? How did that work for you guys?
I think we just
literally like we
it
were
was
like
the Thursday
children.
after that. So like from our first point of contact, it was probably about what, like 12 days. Just
Wow.
under a
Yeah,
week,
like it was
2
a
weeks,
very like 11-year-old relationship in a way. Like it was very like we were just like so like, oh my god, like we're together.
The
like we were
infatuation was real.
Yeah, we were like very like it definitely started off on very kind of like naive terms. And I think it's interesting that like, and I think a lot of people around us were probably like, this is like,
I remember
why are
telling
they
my friends
so
how much I like Flo, and they were like, and
chill out?
I was saying shit like, oh, I want to be with her like long term, and they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. We were
Just back then.
definitely like in our own like bubble a lot in the beginning of our relationship, and like we were very, and then we went on a training camp like with GB together, and we got into so much trouble on this training camp because we were just like together the whole time, and we were
it
like
was weird
very
vibes,
annoying.
isn't it? Like that, yeah.
We were
kind of treated
definitely
like
annoying
children,
objectively.
Objectively.
Yeah.
Completely separated.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, and this, I didn't even know this about you. I didn't know that the relationship progressed this quickly. But again, moving, kind of backing off to a more general question, just for anyone listening who might be talking to someone right now, thinking about wanting to ask them to be in a relationship. And it's funny because as I say this, I have one of my specific friends in mind who we've been joking on for a little bit. But do you, and again, this is kind of like, honestly, every question is just going to be, not every question, most of it's going to be like, whose role in the relationship do you think it is to do a certain thing? Do you do you think that it is always the guy again who should think or who should ask the girl to be in a relationship, or do you think the girl can also ask to be in a relationship?
I think with us, we were kind of just like, we both like said the L word, and then from that point we were just like, I feel like it was mutually established. Like it wasn't really.
How quick did you say the L word? Which I was going to ask about
Like
later.
stupid
The 2
quick.
weeks out, yeah,
like I
quite
actually think like it's like embarrassing talking about how quick we were with everything. Like we were like insane. But then also the most like insane, like to think about this now, I think is the most insane part of our relationship was the fact that, so we got together in the November, in the must have been, when did you not get into Princeton? Must have been like the February or March.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So then
When I
Joe
applied regular decision, I didn't get in.
Joe replied regular decision, didn't get into Princeton, and I got into Princeton, and I then decided to take a gap year. Then when Joe did get it, like we were mental. Like I don't
That is-
understand how anyone around us was like, "That's a good idea,
It's quite-
Flo. Like you should do that."
It's so funny hearing all this now because obviously we're now like 6 years in the future and it's
Yeah.
all really worked out. But okay, you just met this guy. You told him you loved him after however many days. He doesn't get into the school that you're going to. Why did you think it was a good idea to put off your own future for Joe over here?
No, exactly. Like why did I do that?
Still answering that question.
Today. No, I think it's funny because I definitely like. I think for Americans that's even a more shocking thing to take a gap year, like so impromptu, than for Brits, because I think like almost all of my friends took gap years. Like it's a lot more of a common thing to just like take a gap year in the UK. Like a lot of people do that.
But you did it for a boy.
But I did do it for a boy. But I also did partially do it for rowing. So it was like it kind of wasn't inhibiting my life in any way.
And I feel like
doing
you
that.
kind of weren't quite ready to leave your family.
No, I feel like
Her family or Joe.
yeah, my direction. No, it was like thinking about it now, I'm just, wow, how did I do that? And also the fact my mum's let me do that is just like, I can't believe they actually let me do that.
And for everyone listening, I wouldn't, as so much as we see this working out for this wonderful couple, I would not advise taking a gap year and putting up your future for
No.
for a boy or girl or for whoever it is. Again, it's amazing that it worked out, but I would never in a million years put off my future for a person that I met just a few months ago. So you're better than me, and I'm very glad that it worked out.
Yeah, wouldn't work.
Well, it was obviously like, it was asking a lot of you, but like, I guess you had that secured. Like, it wasn't like...
Yeah, we had a very fun year as well.
Wait, but also, what if Joe didn't get into Princeton?
Yeah. That would... Yeah.
So this was all contingent on him getting into
Yeah.
one of the hardest schools
Yeah.
in the world to
Yeah.
get into.
As you can, we're just like bad at life. We're just like bad at planning things.
But
or
I wouldn't say
anything.
bad at life though, because again, everything happens for a reason, and you guys are in a great place. Everything seemed to work out. Although in the moment when you're making these decisions, they might not make as much sense. But now, hindsight is 20/20. Things worked out. So I wouldn't call it being bad at life. I don't know. It's just very impromptu and going with the flow.
Exactly.
As much as I hate the pun in this situation,
It's true.
it worked.
It's true. It did.
It does. But no, here we are. But yeah.
Here we are. So, okay, how would you guys describe your relationship style? Because I have heard there's some couples who they text every day, they FaceTime every day, they're always in constant communication. How would you generally describe your relationship style?
We were FaceTiming like every day, weren't we, in the first year? 'Cause
Yeah,
we were
it's
quite
just
far apart.
evolved a lot. Like it's just obviously changed so much given our circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first we definitely were in like constant communication, I'd say. We would just like message a lot throughout the day, and then every evening we'd FaceTime, basically. Every evening, I think. But then obviously then very quickly, even before we'd been together for a year, we were living together. So then like there was no need to, we literally just spent our whole lives together. And then when we came here, I think when we came here, the first like few months of Princeton, for me personally, I feel like they weren't as much for you, which was annoying, but for me personally was like one of the hardest bits of our relationship.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well,
I
guess
think
trying to both establish our own like social lives in Princeton while also still like remaining engaged with each other.
yeah, I think we just had so much time for each other the year before, and we just like spent
We like cook all our meals together,
yeah,
like everything.
like our whole lives were together, and then we came here, and
in my mum's
obviously-
2-bedroom flat.
Yeah, it was an
That's two, yeah,
interesting
that was-
experience.
Yeah. Shout out my mum.
Yeah.
And how were you able to manage and navigate through those initially challenging first few months of Princeton?
I just argue quite a lot.
Tears.
Tears, argue.
But no, honestly, no, I like that. I like that you're keeping it real, and I don't want you to like say some BS answer. It's like, no, I don't know, just don't BS it. So
Yeah, no, I mean, we definitely are, we as a couple, we're good at arguing. We're pretty good at arguing. But I think we also go through a lot of like phases with like, sometimes we literally will not argue for so long and we're like completely good, and then sometimes we'll have like 10 arguments in 1 week about like the most ridiculous things
Yeah.
ever. But definitely in those 3 months we just like weren't like on the same page, I feel like, with a lot of things. But then I think we just kind of gradually like got used to the fact that our relationship was going to look different here. Like obviously it was not going to be the same as it had been in the UK. And I think we just kind of realised that we just need to support each other in having our own lives here, but also making sure that we like built a life together here a little bit as well. But that definitely did take a little bit of time, I feel like.
And I love that, and that's honestly fair, because the transition to Princeton is difficult for anybody, whatever your situation is. But I imagine that even coming into it with a relationship, which exactly like you said, you are with someone who you have this already established thing with, and then you're being thrown into this inferno that is Princeton University, between the academics and the sports and the social life, and even all that in and of itself is so much to balance. But then when you're doing it with someone else, I don't imagine that there's anyone who's transitioned extremely smoothly. So this is probably something that any couple who, although didn't I think Ben and Natasha might have also. And I need to ask him about this interest, and I wonder how that transition was for them also. But I doubt there's anyone who's able to do it as easily. And again, as we're seeing, you guys were able to make it through that initial period, and you are still thriving.
Going strong.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Going strong. Okay, and so after you guys were able to initially go through that period, and then felt like you were hitting your stride at Princeton, how did the relationship look different here than it did previously?
That's a good question.
Thank you very much.
How does it look different? I think, I guess we learn to be a little bit less dependent on each other, but then also in some ways more so, like being able to kind of vent all our frustrations is like being like a big part of, or not like, but it's just being like having someone there that's obviously come from the same place as you and like has the same experiences, like being able to just like talk about Princeton. Like,
yeah. I mean, we've very much like grown up together, I feel like, because we were 17 when we got together, and I think at this point it's like we know each other so well in terms of like how we'll respond to certain situations. Also, we have very similar opinions on certain situations. Obviously we are very different as well, but we have similar opinions on like certain situations and like interactions we have, so it's just funny like experiencing that together. And then we kind of like always like debrief on like what's been going on, or like, do you know what I mean? It's funny. But I do think we've definitely, one of the most important things has just been really allowing each other to have our own lives here, because I think that is like, if we like restricted each other and each other's experiences, that would have like definitely caused problems massively. And I think like, even I remember my mum said to me when we first came, like, make sure, obviously like my mum adores Joe, but she was like, make sure you do not just become like completely dependent on Joe, and make sure you are 100% going out, like making your own life, doing your own thing. And I think we've definitely allowed each other to do that massively. And we are quite like, at this point, definitely we're very relaxed in terms of like, we're not going to get like weird with each other if we haven't spoken to each other all day, or, there's no like, we just kind of like let each other do what we want to do kind of thing.
Which, even the independence point that you bring up, I think that is really huge, and something that I think a lot of people need to realize, that they need to learn how to be by themselves, even if they are in a relationship. And so like what I have in mind is like, I'm someone who, again, I haven't been in a relationship in 4 years, probably 5 years at this point. And I think that over these 4 years, I've been able to grow so much as an individual, and I know who I am. And so whenever I do get into a relationship, I will be able to bring my best version of myself into that, because I know fully who I am, and I haven't had to be so reliant on someone else. And now and then I hope that it's someone who's also in that similar way, where they don't feel like they need to be dependent on someone else, and then both people get to sort of be the best versions of themselves. And then I imagine that's just even that much more difficult to navigate being in a relationship for 6 years.
Five and a bit now.
For 5 and a bit now, where you've both gone through a very like transformative time in your lives. You've been together, but you also have to maneuver how you both want to be individuals, and learning to have to do that. And it sounds like you've been able to do it well, but I imagine that that's something that a lot of people struggle with.
Definitely.
How do you think you've changed me?
Oh, okay. Joe taking over the podcast. Go with the Joe. Let's go.
How do I think I've changed you? I don't think like.
Not specifically you, but like, how do you think we've changed together? And like,
that's the thing. I don't think we've like changed each other. I think just like our environments have changed, and like the way we go about things have changed. But I think we definitely in terms of just like being here, I do think we've like definitely grown a lot. We've just matured a lot. Like even if you think about this is like, even if you think about the way we have arguments, it's like so much more mature than we would when like we don't just like fly off the handle as much as we used, well, as much as I used to. But yeah, definitely as much as we used to, you know. Whereas now it's like I feel like we've got a lot better at communicating
definitely.
in terms of like what we're doing.
It's that liberal arts education. Just
Yeah.
really
Princeton.
Just good at debating. So good at arguing.
writing sermons.
But even that's another thing when it comes to maturity. I would hope that everybody who's been here 4 years has matured significantly over that period of time, because I definitely look at myself and the way that I've grown each year over year has been like exponential. When I look at my freshman fall self especially and compare that to where I am now, I'm like, that was a little child back in the day. You've come a long way, and I would hope that every single person listening is experiencing that same sort of growth. And if you're not, maybe, I don't know, get new friends, do some self-reflection. Yeah, you shouldn't be the same person that you were 4 years ago. But something that you mentioned a few minutes ago, you said that you're similar in some ways and that you're different in a lot of other ways. So there's this saying out there that opposites attract when it comes to relationships, which is not actually true. We learned that in one of my psych classes, that it's a myth. How similar or opposite? No, that's a stupid question. How do I phrase this question in a good way? See, I'm also working on my skills of trying to phrase questions the right way. Would you guys say that you're more similar than you are different?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, our similarities are kind of more like our energy and confidence, I think.
Yeah. I also do think, like, I know everyone always says, like, values, you need to have, like, as long as you have the same values and things, that's very important. But I also think we definitely like differ. We definitely differ a lot in terms of like our views on things.
You've made me a lot kinder, I think.
Yeah, I know, but I think
I'm not saying I'm kind. I'm just saying I'm
Kinder.
massive arsehole.
slightly kinder. But we definitely, our views differ a lot on things, I think. But I also think that's like something that I like about our relationship is that we do like, we can like discuss things without like being massively offended by the fact that the other person like has different views to the other person. But I think also in terms of like I'm not like the biggest like love languages person, whatever, but I do think in terms of the main things that we show our love to each other for are very similar. And I think like we very much are both like physical touch people, like we're both very like, that's one thing that like really we're very similar on. And I also think our humor is very similar, and like generally our like the way we approach life, we're like slightly cynical but like also try and have fun. Like that's, I feel like we both have very similar mindsets in that respect, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like I just said, people saying opposites attract is actually a myth, because again, like we've seen, it's cap. And then one of the things that you just said, which I think is really, really important, you said that you are able to disagree and have healthy conversations about the things that you disagree about, whatever topic that's on. Because I don't know, from my perception, and again, this is just based on zero facts and zero evidence, to me it feels like nowadays everyone feels like they need to agree with each other on every single thing, and they're not able to have a similar sort of, they can't have a conversation from two different points of views without, what is that siren? That actually just like cut right through. But no, they don't feel like they're able to engage with someone if they don't have the exact same point of view as them. And that's something that I find really frustrating. And even for me, so about whatever topic it might be, over the summer in the city, I would go on a bunch of different dates, use the dating apps, whatever. And there was just always this like undertone of like, if you don't agree with me on every single thing, like this isn't gonna work. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is not how, you're not gonna find someone who agrees with you on every single thing about, you're not gonna find someone like that. And it's just, it gets a little bit frustrating when people are so like stuck in their ways and their mindsets that they don't even wanna engage in conversations about different things. So again, I love that you guys are mature enough to, even with different opinions, still be able to get along, which I think is the way everybody should be, obviously. But
yeah, I also, a lot of people go into relationships thinking that they can like massively change someone else's views, which I also think can be, there's the two sides of it. There's one side in that you just don't even engage in a relationship that you do think there's different opinions, and then there's the other side where people really try and change the person, and it's like, if you ever go into a relationship like that, it's just not going to work well at all. Like, you can't change someone's whole like values and everything they stand for just to like appease you, or like, and I do think we've probably become closer in terms of like our views on things, but also like we still massively like differ on a lot of things, which
is fair, because you're human beings, and two human beings will always disagree on different things. But okay, transitioning a little bit, like I said, this episode will be coming out on Monday, which is Valentine's Day.
Beautiful.
And so take me back to your very, very first Valentine's Day. How did y'all spend that together?
Was that in Muswell Hill?
I honestly like.
That was at the Blue.
Yeah.
We went to the same restaurant that we went on our first date. And they didn't have.
Oh no, that was that first one when we left.
Yeah, and they didn't have the meals that we had the first date, and they had like this like shitty set menu, and we're like, fuck that. So we got a takeaway from another place, and then went and drank some like tins of cider up in the park.
No, we literally like we just stood up.
Hobo.
We'd like booked this restaurant and then literally looked at the menu and we're like, nah. We're very picky about our food. Like, if the food's not like exactly what we want, we're out of there. So we literally both got up, went. I don't think you have them in this country, but they're called K ciders. They're literally like the highest percentage ciders you can buy, and they're like very
tramp juice.
Yeah, they're very like no one drinks them apart from Joe. And then we just like were downing them outside of the restaurant, weren't we? And then we just like went and got a takeaway, went to the park. We're just chilling. We're very like not big like flashy datey couple. Like, that's never been like something
I'm stingy.
Frugal. No, frugal is the right word. I also describe myself as frugal.
Exactly.
And how have the Valentine's Days evolved over the years? Would you say more effort's been put into them, less effort's been put into them?
Oh, it's hard to.
I think we started so minimal.
Yeah, exactly.
They could only go up from there.
Yeah.
And also, like, when we're in Princeton, it's kind of like just being able to get away or like go for a meal is nice enough in itself. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's been pretty low key, but like it doesn't need to be like this big gesture on Valentine. It's more the anniversaries that kind of.
Yeah, we definitely put more effort into our anniversaries and Valentine's Day. But I think Valentine's Day, it's just nice. I feel like it's just a nice day to like touch base. But we don't do gifts either on Valentine's Day. Maybe we have, but I feel like we
Little
always
things.
just do cards.
Yeah.
And like, you're good at writing cards as well. But I like cards. Like, I feel like it's nice just to like have, just like in writing, just to reaffirm that like, we're still good. We good?
For some reason, I see Joe. You just said Joe's really good at writing cards. I see you being like a real like sentimental guy. And, like, I could see that.
My mum was very hard on me as a kid. Right, with like she always used to make me write like thank you letters at Christmas time. Like fuck, like so many. Yeah, maybe I'm just getting it.
No, you are very good at writing cards. I feel like you're good at putting your words onto paper. I feel like
not so great at verbalising.
Yeah.
I need a bit of time for contemplation.
Yeah, true.
And do you have any fun plans for this Valentine's Day, or is it like a secret that you don't want to write?
Oh no.
No, just wait, guys. No.
Yeah. What are we gonna do? I don't know.
Just get like we were saying, takeout.
Yeah, we want to get a takeout and then go onto one of the roofs.
Yeah, because you don't want to like
and just listen to some music.
You don't want to be in a packed restaurant with all the other couples of Princeton. Just like
yeah, but also like Joe's like very. We're just bad in restaurants because you get really distracted by, like, he gets very irritated by noises like around him. So like we're literally talking and I'm like, Joe, look at me. Like, he's literally just like looking around the restaurant, like doesn't. Yeah, it's just like, what's the point? Like, why are we here? You know. Yeah. So I feel like we're better in an environment where it's just like just us and there's like not as many distractions, and also we can like listen to music, chill.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're better in those sort of environments than. We're just not a datey couple at all. Like, yeah. Not a restaurant datey, anyway.
Okay, and I know that I'm going to, based on just the way this conversation has gone, I think I already know what your answer is going to be to this question. But on the yearly basis, does Joe need to ask you to be his Valentine?
I didn't
What? I don't even
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Nah, sorry.
No, maybe you should this year.
Maybe I should, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you want to do it right
Be my
now.
Valentine.
I was about, yeah, you could use this platform to ask.
Yeah, perfect.
No, because that is a question that came up in conversation at lunch the other day. It was like, does someone need to ask the other person, even if they've been in a relationship for however long, to be their Valentine
And
every
people
single
said
year?
yes, like that's the thing.
I
Is that
guess
an
so.
Americanism, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of I could see this being a thing that some people would really care about. Like, oh, I need to be asked to be a Valentine
Yeah.
every single year.
I think it's kind of implied. Like, I don't know who else would I
Yeah,
ask
if
to
I'm
be
going
my-
on a date with someone
Yeah.
else on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, you'd be concerned. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so you said that it's your anniversaries that you've celebrated a little bit more. What's been what's an example of an anniversary celebration that you've had?
This year.
What, this one?
Because this would have been the 5-year anniversary. That's a big
Yeah, I
one.
know, yeah.
Yeah, we got a hotel in Williamsburg this year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And what did we do? We went ice skating in Central
did a load of
Park.
stuff,
That was
yeah.
cute. We went to this like really cool, like they were mixing like jazz vinyls. Went to this
Yeah,
bar. Went
that
to a
was
really
a
nice
vibe.
restaurant. We like to like, I don't know, go out
Just
like
kind
have
of,
drinks,
yeah.
like yeah,
Wander about
yeah,
the city.
just bop about.
Yeah.
But that was really fun. We had a good anniversary this year. But yeah, we'd usually like do like get a hotel or something, do something a little
Yeah.
bit nicer on our anniversary. I don't know why that's. I feel like we've always anniversary's been like a bigger
Yeah.
thing than.
Well, I guess
Also
it's more
5 years, I
specific.
suppose. Is.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it should be. Valentine's Day is just an arbitrary day that someone's picked and said all couples should celebrate this day.
Yeah.
But like an anniversary obviously means a lot more to you. That's when you started dating, started whatever. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it makes sense that you would put a lot more effort into your
Yeah.
anniversary.
And also, like, our birthdays are kind of like February, March.
Yeah,
time
so
anyway,
it's like
kind
we're
of-
already
we don't
getting
need
each other
to.
stuff.
Yeah, we don't need to be.
Yeah.
There's too much
Not
going
too
on
hard.
Yeah,
around that time.
exactly. Yeah.
But okay, and so rewind into something that we said a lot earlier. You said that you said the L word to each other after just a few weeks. Who said it first?
It's probably me.
It was you. It was probably me. I don't quite remember.
My memory serves me correctly.
What made you say that you loved Flo?
I think just a feeling of
We were children.
intense excitement. Or yeah, what pushes someone to say
Yeah, that's
that?
yeah.
To
What's
actually
the
say it.
meaning
I
of
don't
love,
even know.
guys?
I
Yeah.
think just kind of just the attachment and the kind of
You can be nice about me.
Well,
Yeah, say the things that you write down in the cards. Do you want to whip
Come
out one of the
on,
cards and
let's
read
read
a
I've
card
actually
out?
brought them all with me today. Just, I don't know. Yeah, just like realizing that this person's on the same level, and like there's someone that I actually can communicate very clearly with. I don't know.
I feel like we were like so like happy about how just similar we were. So shocked about how similar we were when we
Yeah.
first started dating. Like it was like very like, and then as we have, the longer our relationship's gone on, the more we've realised we're different, definitely. But at the beginning of our relationship, it was like, oh my god, this person is like a perfect human being. Like I thought you were the most perfect person in the world, and now no, but now I obviously do not think that. But like you so quickly like see each other's flaws, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that's only at that point is when you actually start
After
to
the
have a
honeymoon
real
period, yeah.
But that's when you start to have a real relationship. But before that point, you're so just like clouded by just like love and like, oh my
Infatuation, yeah.
god, this is like the most amazing thing ever. And then that's when I feel like the real relationship starts after like a year. I feel like our honeymoon phase probably after a year we were like, okay, this person's annoying, and then we had to like actually understand each other again almost. It's like you like restart your relationship after that infatuation phase has gone a little bit.
And how has that love grown since that infatuation period? Because again, like you're saying, that first year is everything's still so new and so unique, and we're still everything's still so new and fresh. And then after that, and it's like, okay, we've been together a year, we still really fuck with each other. How has the love grown from that point?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like it's like a deeper, less intense, like feeling. Like it's more of a you like look at that person and you think, oh, that they truly understand me, or like they've seen many different sides to me, and like
I feel like that transition phase is like a very pivotal phase for like a lot of couples in terms of I feel like that's when
The
a lot of
make or
couples
break.
break up
Yeah.
because it's like you're you just cannot maintain that feeling that you have in the first year of relationship for a whole relationship. Like, that's just never gonna happen. I think, like, I remember when we first were kind of like starting to like bicker a bit more, starting to get into a kind of what our relationship more is now, I was like, oh my god, like, this is not
Really selling it.
yeah. No, but I was like, this is not like what I was expecting it to be. Like, it was almost like I was expecting it to maintain that like butterfly feeling every time I saw you, you know. And if I still feel like that'd be whack. Like, if every time I saw you I was like, Joe, oh my god, like, that'd be worrying.
You're melting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it'd be worrying. But I think then that's the point where you just really, you just love the other person's company. I think that's like the point we're at now. It's just like, you like are the person that I respect the most. I want to like have your opinion on everything. I love your company. I think you're like the funnest person in the room, you know. Like, that's the kind of like situation that we're in now, where it's just like, I want to spend like all my life with you, you know, rather than before it was just like very just like whoa, you know. I don't know. It's just like changed a lot, definitely.
That was beautiful. that was beautiful. And okay, this kind of leads us to the question: what would you say is your favorite thing about each other?
What's my favourite thing about Flo? I think...
Not me, Flo, her Flo.
Yeah, yeah, go. Let's switch this up for a second.
The favourite thing about Flo is...
Oh, don't do that.
My favourite thing about Flo, I think, is her integrity.
Ooh.
Or, yeah, and your confidence, I think.
I approve of those statements.
Yeah. And she will definitely say the same for my integrity, I'm sure.
Your integrity? No, definitely not. Definitely
And
not.
Flo, what is your favorite thing about Joe?
I think kind of what I just said, just that like I just think you're so fun, you know? Like, you're someone that's like walks into a room and you just have a really good presence. You do that. You're just so like charismatic, and you just have a great presence in a room.
This is true.
And you just like everyone.
When I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, well, you also can have an awful presence in a room. If you want it to be bad, you can make it bad. But you have a big impact on the energy in a room, I would definitely say. And I think like, yeah, you just draw a lot of people towards you. And some people definitely hate you, and some people definitely love you. But I think like when people actually get to know you, it's like, yeah. Everyone loves you.
And I will say that obviously I never hated you at any point, Joe. But before I knew you, because again, I forgot to mention this, the way that I know Joe and Flo is we were all in Ivy together. And again, joined our sophomore year, got kicked off campus a few weeks later. So didn't really get to know you, just got like bits and pieces and glimpses of you. And I'm like, this is a very interesting character. And now at this point, I spoke about this in Bicker. When people would be like, are there people that you're friends with that you didn't think that you'd be friends with? Or how have you made new friends? Stuff like that. You're always the first person that comes to mind. I'm like, never in a million years did I think that I would, Joe and I would be friends and I would like this guy. But he is one of the coolest guys that I've ever met. Basically taught me how to play pool, which I've become very, very competent at.
You have become very good. I was watching you yesterday. I was like, what has happened to you?
You saw the little chip shot I made. But yeah, no, exactly. So it's, yeah, I appreciate the both of you.
Likewise.
But Joe's a stud. I love Joe.
I love Joe.
Now on the flip end of things, what is your least favorite thing about each other?
You can go first this time.
Ladies first.
I have a list. I have a long list. Well, it's actually hard to choose the least favorite thing. No, I think that my least favorite thing about you is probably.
Oh, she can't even think of one.
No, I can think of too many things. I think it's probably sometimes. I think this is like not necessarily my least favorite thing about you. I think it's the least favorite thing about like our differences is I think that you're kind of like, we're very different emotionally about things, you know? And I think sometimes you can be a bit harsh about people. So sometimes I feel like you could be...
Which people? No,
but I just think sometimes you could be kinder in situations.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would
I'll
say.
take that.
Yeah.
I think... Oh, fuck. There really is no good answer.
I'm putting you in a tight corner here.
Oh, fuck. I would say my least favourite thing about Flo is kind of almost like the thing my favourite thing about her as well. I feel like she can be stubborn if she wants to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She can be pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm good at arguing.
I'll leave it at that.
Nice, good, safe answer. I wasn't trying to end the 5-year relationship here
You imagine right here, right now.
Testing.
with those answers. Okay, and so we are all in our senior year. We are
Cry.
about to be moving on to different parts of our lives. Do y'all have you ever had to be long distance?
I don't know, what would you describe as long distance? So the first like 6 months, 7 months of our relationship, we were like 2 hours away from each other. Is that long distance? I don't know. What is long
that's
distance?
a good
Weekends.
question.
Like we see each other on weekends.
Yeah, so we'd only see each other on
Be
weekends.
2 hours away.
So it's not long.
It's not like
medium,
properly.
medium
Yeah, it's like
distance.
medium distance. Okay.
Yeah, medium distance we'd be, but no, we've never been
No, I mean the longest probably when you've been away for like
rowing. Stuff.
rowing shit,
Yeah.
and I've been at home.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as we're all progressing into this next stage of our lives, how is the relationship going into each of your plans for trying to figure out what you want to
This
do
is honestly
next?
like the most contentious.
We had a chat last night, which was
Literally
like
last
the
night
first time
about
we
this.
properly like contemplated
Yeah.
what long distance would be were it to be
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
Um,
We're both very unorganized and bad at planning anything. So neither of us have any idea what we're doing next year, basically. And we're just very like, whatever, we'll see what happens. But also, we definitely kind of need to consider whether, because we kind of originally said we're both going to go back to the UK, and I want to go back to the UK for like rowing and stuff, whereas I feel like for you it's like you could stay here
I want
if
to
you
make some
wanted to.
paper.
Yeah. So yeah, we might potentially. I mean,
Who
knows?
It's like there's a very very small chance that I would stay in America for like a year or two, but like in that instance it would be. I hope it would still be.
Of course it
Long
would be. No, but like yeah, so we could potentially have to be long distance next year, but we honestly like both have zero job prospects and like
So,
nothing is going on with us
You
right
don't
now.
have to worry too much.
So like yeah, hypothetically, if Joe suddenly got a job, potentially we'd do long distance, but who knows?
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Just had to ask.
Yeah.
And then before we move into the quick fire questions that I said I was going to ask, do you believe in soulmates?
No.
Not in. Not that there's like
No.
one. There is one soulmate for you out there.
Yeah, I really don't think there's. Is that what you kind of mean by soulmates? Do you mean there's one?
There's one person.
No,
yes.
definitely not.
Especially
that,
because
no.
you're molded by your experiences
Yeah.
and the people around you, and that you're constantly changing. It's a dynamic model.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think there's soulmates. Like, I think you can just be, you can have someone
can
that you're
be,
so
yeah.
naturally connected to, and I definitely think we found that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that, like, necessarily that means that there's not someone else that you would also be very connected to. Like, how would you
Yeah,
ever know
there's
that?
too
There's
many
so
humans out
many
there.
humans, you know, there's
But then
just, like,
also it's like, well, the ones that you're most likely to have the most in common with, you will have already rubbed up against. So,
yeah, that's true. But then also as well, at this point, it's like there's no one that I would be as similar to as you
yeah.
right now at this
Just
point,
'cause of all
5
the
years
shit
into our
we've been through.
relationship, just
Yeah.
because like, yeah, we've just like grown so much together. So now it's almost like we could
it's
potentially,
determined. It's
do you know what
almost
I mean?
self-determined.
Yeah, like at this point we could maybe say we're soulmates. But then,
I think
I
you
don't know.
could.
but then it's like, I don't think that you
Oh.
can just like meet someone and they're your soulmate, you know? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
That's interesting. And throwback to the third episode of the podcast, the soulmate theory that I had with Nadia, because we talked
Mm-hmm.
all about this. And I think that there is a soulmate, and we
Oh,
all
you
have
do?
I do. And the way that I describe this is, I think it's a pyramid, and I think there's a super soulmate at the very top. Who it's like one individual that if you meet, you'll fall in love instantly, but you might never ever ever meet them, because my super soulmate could be in fucking, I don't know, wherever in the
Yeah.
country. And then I think it's a pyramid. And then the next level, you have a few soulmates who, if you met, it's kind of like you would vibe, chill.
Sure.
You could get married, live happily ever after. And then it just keeps going and going. And like the top 3 layers you could meet and be very happy with. And then everything after that is just going to lead to failure. So that's my theory on soulmates.
But why do you think that? Like, why do you think there's a super soulmate, you know?
Because I feel like there's just, like you said, there's billions of people in the world. There has to be one person who's like my person, and I feel that way for every single person. And it's just there's these instant we all hear about like love at first sight and how someone's like, oh, I met her and I knew we would get married, and they do get married however many years later. I do believe that sort of intense connection is there with someone, and you might never meet them, which I think is like that might be like the sad part of it. But I do think that person is out there for each and every single one of us. And
Okay, but then also, do you think if you met that person, it would be like a perfect relationship?
I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect
Exactly,
relationship.
because that's what I was going to say. Because I just feel like, so you just think it would be a very intense connection?
Yes,
Okay.
that would lead to a life of happily ever after. But again, there's no perfect relationship.
Definitely.
Whatever couple has been together for however many years, it lasts as long as. There will be problems. Although I was listening to this Samuel L. Jackson interview a few months back, and he's been married for however long, and the host asked him like, what's been the secret to you guys being together for so long? And he was like, sometimes I apologize even when she's wrong.
Yeah.
little things like
No,
that.
I do think that's a good thing to live by.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I think our worst arguments have been when I'm probably not actually engaged enough in, or like not giving you anything.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of, I'm just letting you go.
Yeah, you got to engage in the arguments.
Exactly.
Word.
Or say something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had to ask the couple about the soulmate theory.
Yeah.
But okay, we all now moving. We've already done 50 minutes. It always flies by, and I need to get Theo out of here. So we will get to these next set of questions. So quick fire questions for each of you, where it's just going to see how well you really know each other. First, basic one. I hope you really know the answer to this one. When are each other's birthdays?
21st of Feb. Are you joking?
There's 9th of March.
That would have actually
I
been.
honestly was like, do I walk out this room
Loki,
right
I was
now?
like, oh shit! I wanted to start with the one that you would that you would definitely know. Favorite color? What's Flo's favorite color?
Flo's favourite colour is like there's like a tealy green kind of,
Oh, yeah.
like kind of matches her out. It's kind of like that phone case.
You
Little
don't
bit
have
like-
a favourite colour. You do.
I have a
You like
kind of.
You do like orange.
Yeah, go Tigers.
Go Tigers! Yeah, go Tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah, oranges and yellows.
Yeah. In yellows. Yeah.
Okay, favorite type of food?
Oh,
Steak for you.
well, thing is like steak is
It's
like,
Quickfire, Joe.
okay. Yeah.
Yes, good.
Flo, you do like your pasta, but it's not your favourite. Fuck.
Wrong. Flo, what's your favorite type of food?
Sushi.
Sushi?
Yeah.
Nah. Sorry, it's not.
Oh, you can't disagree with my favourite food.
Okay. But you couldn't eat that all day. Anyway. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Favorite musical artist?
Ooh. Your
Awesome.
all time. This is hard for you because it's like. Would you say your all time Jamiroquai?
Jamiroquai definitely up there. Oh, yeah, it's a tough one.
Who would
Yeah.
you say for me?
For you?
Yeah.
Not the drums. Maybe like
I do like the drums.
something. It's hard. I can't narrow it down.
Yeah, I'd say probably Lauryn Hill, like
Oh,
of
really?
all time. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
See, I'm helping you get to know each other.
Flo's biggest pet peeve.
Yours is 100% listening to me eat. 100%.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve? I think when people aren't addressing problems.
That's a big pet. Yeah, fair.
Celebrity crush.
Oh, this is hard. Who's your celebrity crush? I'd say.
Your celebrity crush.
I don't know. I actually don't know who your
Yeah.
celebrity crush is.
Well, now let's reveal it to each other then. Who are your celebrity crushes?
I'd say like I have like a genre of like I'd say like Bradley Cooper, like that kind of person is like to me like, you know.
Well, I mean, like, growing up, it was Emma Watson. But
Oh
that would
yeah,
not,
Emma
that
Watson.
would not be the answer.
No, that he used to love a bit of
Used to love
Hermione. You
Hermione.
loved
When she
Hermione.
walked down the stairs in
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire.
Oh, baby.
But nah, I don't. Yeah, nah. I love all celebrities of all shapes
What?
and stuff.
Or safe answer. I like that. I like that.
I can't
Okay. Did you each play any other sports growing up, and do you know what you both did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Flo was on the under-11s team for Spurs, weren't you? Or under-10s.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I was the captain, baby.
Oh.
Wait, the
Okay.
guys'
Yeah.
team or girls?
No, I
It
played
was-
for a guy. I played for a guy's rugby team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Flo's big on that.
Joe played rugby once, and then his mum never let him again.
Yeah.
And then you were good at running, weren't you?
I was a track and
You're a
field,
good
yeah,
sprinter,
and
yeah.
discus.
Yes. And last one, dream vacation destination.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wait for each other.
Yeah, for each other. Yeah.
I feel like you love Italy.
I do love Italy, but I've been there
But
a lot,
yeah,
so it's not my
exactly,
dream.
yeah. Maybe Australia. No, you've been there as well.
Yeah.
She's been everywhere.
She's so well traveled. Yeah.
So well traveled. I'd say for you it'd literally be like the UK. You'd be like Cornwall. Yeah.
No.
It's not
you
Boston.
don't like traveling though. You're not like a big traveler.
We went to the West Coast freshman year for our like final chance. That was pretty.
Yours would be you like Berlin.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And be some techno here.
Yeah, go to some techno clubs. Yeah.
Oh, right. Nice. Love that. Okay, and now we've done 54 minutes. We will get to the song section, which still need a name for it. But I switched it up for this episode because I love Valentine's Day. And I asked Flo and Joe to come with 5 songs that had any type of significance to their relationship. Do you have that list with you?
We do. I mean, we have it off the top of our head.
Okay, bet. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to ask just one at a time of what that significance is. So first song.
Okay, so first song. This is like, I think this is like our main
Thinking
song.
of You?
Yeah, Thinking
Yeah,
of
Thinking
You
of You.
by Sister Sledge.
Sledge. Yeah.
Okay, and what's
Do you know
why?
that song?
I'm thinking of you.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
yeah,
things
yeah.
you do to me.
Oh, I feel like you
That
requested that
makes
for
me
the
love
Ivy
you.
wedding.
Yeah, we had that
Yes,
at the
yes,
Ivy
yes,
wedding.
yes,
Yeah,
okay.
because also I think we'd have that at our wedding. You know?
Aw.
But I feel like, I mean, if we get married, you know. But
Is marriage on the? Have you talked about marriage? Is that a?
I feel like it's just been assumed.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I like it works. It's kind of like both ways. Like we're not like we don't need to be married to like express our
Yeah.
love for each other.
I also like
But
it.
also, if there's a tax benefit,
Can I MC the wedding?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah,
course.
please.
You'll be at the wedding. You were at the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
wedding. You got to come to the second.
Oh,
wedding.
love
could just
that.
do it now.
Honestly, true. Do you now? Okay, song number 2.
Always and Forever
Yeah.
by Heatwave.
What's
Sorry.
that? What's
Fun,
that?
sing it.
What's that significance?
It's just talking about how we'll always love each other.
You also always sing. You're good at. Joe's actually kind of good at singing sometimes.
I
I'm
don't
not
wanna
gonna.
sing now.
I'm not gonna make him sing.
Always and forever.
Yeah, there's that song.
This moment
Okay, that's
with
enough.
you.
But you just like sing it a lot to me. I feel like not direct. Like that sounds like very, but like you just sing it.
No,
you
it's
know?
a nice, it's
I
very
feel like
romantic
it's
song.
very
It's
like it is a
lovely.
very romantic song. Yeah.
All right, song number 4.
Okay, so 4 and 5 are both by the Drums. So one is Your Tenderness.
Yeah.
I feel like the drums. So we have this like little green bubble car in the UK, and it's like the tiny like. The width of mine and Joe's shoulders, which are
It's
already
tiny.
very broad,
Yeah.
it's literally the width of the car. Like it's this tiniest little car.
We're like
ever.
half the weight of the car.
Like we're like huge. We literally like monsters in this car, and we like bop about around. And we
It doesn't have a sound system, so I just put my portable speaker on the dashboard and it just like slides around when we're driving.
And we always listen. I feel like we listen to the drums a lot when
Yeah.
we're in that when we're bopping about in the summer in that
Yeah.
little car. And then so Your Tenderness, definitely. I feel like that's more of like a romantic song, but then also money. Because the song is literally, was it? I wanna buy you something, but I don't have any money, which is literally
Yeah.
like our whole relationship. It's like we would buy you something really
Yeah.
nice, but we are so broke that we're never gonna buy anything nice for each other. So yeah.
Love that. Not that you're broken, can't
Yeah.
buy shit. Just love all the answers. Okay, and now we will move on to our very, very final segment, the longest running segment of the show, the Tiger Confession segment. So I'll just read some. I'll have the guests react to them. I react to them. And yeah, these are both relationship related because, again, Valentine's Day episode, love episode, all that fun stuff. First one says, if I am the happiest I have been single, is it now the best time to get into a relationship, or should I enjoy my time alone? What are your thoughts?
Well, I guess it depends if they just come out of a. Well, obviously, we don't know this, but if they've just come out of a like relationship, then I would say probably stay single for a bit. But then also, it's like just let it happen.
Exactly.
Go with the flow.
I feel like it's what we were saying, like you find a relationship when you're not looking for it. So just keep being happy being single, and I'm sure like something would come along. Because I do think when you're at your best, at your happiest, that's when you like attract people towards you more. So I'm sure if you just continue being happy and single, then you'll eventually get into a relationship. But also if you then switch your mindset and you're like, okay, I want to get into a relationship now, then maybe you're not going to be happy and you're not going to be single and it's not going to be good. You know?
I could not agree more. Basically what we said earlier in the episode, going out and searching for a relationship never gets you a relationship or one that you'll be happy with or that will last a long time. So there's never any need to try and go force one. It all happens very naturally when you're going with the flow. So yes, enjoy your time being single, and then you might just bump into someone's shoulder and be like, oh shit, we're in love. So yes, don't try to force it. Second one says, My boyfriend and I are very much in love with each other, but sometimes it feels like I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop and for him to realize how out of my league he is and leave me for someone better because God knows he could and other girls have hit on him, and honestly maybe I'm just too hard to love.
That's sad.
That's another song by the Drums, Hard to Love, great track.
But sing that one. Sing it to her.
Nah, I don't know. Well, he's with that girl for a reason, isn't he? So like, but no, I mean, yeah.
That's really sad. No, you should definitely never feel like that. Definitely, like
No.
you're in the reason why you're in that relationship. If you didn't want to be in that relationship, you would not be in that relationship. You know, like he clearly. You need to think more of yourself. Like he clearly like loves you for a reason. You know.
Yes, and the reason that, because I forgot I even picked this question, and I picked it because this is something that I did want to address. This concept of people saying that someone might be out of their league.
Yeah, I don't. Get
I
that.
don't like
No.
it at all. I don't understand it.
Self-determined, isn't
I
it?
would never in my life think
Yeah.
a girl was out of my league, because what is that saying about how I look at myself? Why would I
Exactly.
ever think anyone was better
Yeah.
than me in that sense? And I really hate when people go around saying like that person's out of your league.
Exactly.
Like people might say like looks wise, like stats, like it doesn't make sense. I've seen in relationships where one person might be way more quote unquote attractive than the other, but it's not really a thing. I saw this one tweet that was like, you date at the level of your confidence, and I really do believe that, because
That's
there's no
true.
one who you should look at and think that there's no way that they would want to be with me, because that just says a lot about how you look at
Yeah.
yourself.
Definitely.
So yeah, don't ever say that someone's out of your league or that you're out of someone's league. We're all in one.
And also, you can't rank yourself as a human. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many different attributes that contribute to you being a great person. Like, it's not like you're 10 out of 10 looks, you're 6
Yeah.
out of 10 personality. Like, that's just not a thing. Like,
Exactly. So yeah, that's why I picked that, because I just have to
Typical
get that.
Princeton students getting caught up in the metrics.
Yeah, exactly. Rankings aren't a thing. You will date anyone at your confidence level, because first of all, whoever this is, you're beautiful. Your boyfriend loves you. He's not out of your league. You're not out of his league. You're meant to be together.
Beautiful.
And that is that. But yeah, we have done now an hour and a minute. That was a great episode. Love that. Very glad that I had this idea. Thank you both for coming on. Everyone have a great Valentine's Day. If you're single, that's okay. I'm single this Valentine's Day too, and I'm still gonna
love
have
it.
still
Love
gonna have a great
yourself.
time. Love. That is how we're ending it. Love yourself. Nobody's out of your league. This has been another episode of Go with the Flow. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.